Let's see if this does. I wonder if I'm doing this in the middle of a maintenance period that YouTube does. I see starting. Stream health is green. You might have to turn this into an evening stream. I just might. Oh wait, now I see something at least. Is it going to go green and stay green? I'm checking. Stream resumed. The stream is continuing. Video output low. Maybe I could change the settings. Let's see. That's a lot of buffering. Well, I'm glad the audio is still coming through. That's sort of encouraging. Let's see if it picks up. I think it might. But I have to wonder, since I go live at 8 a.m. Eastern, if that might be when they're doing maintenance. But that seems like peak time when people will be waking up and checking out the platform, so I don't know why they would do it at that point. Now it's starting to smooth out a little bit, it looks like. But is the stream health going to get better? We're back? So you guys can see and hear and everything looks alright? I think they normally publish if they're doing maintenance, so I would be surprised by that, but, I mean, I've been wrong before. So, alright. Sorry, what were we talking about? Connection? Red. That's perfect. So yeah, I think where I left off was talking about just like playing games with people and how, you know, you don't necessarily have to... Let's see, no, I did talk about that, and then I talked about, oh yeah, so it's not a mystery, or it's something that you've seen me do regularly on these streams and in my videos, is keeping, you know, where you can, you know, talk to me offline, right? Like, not every interaction has to happen on YouTube, and if this isn't proof positive for why you should have a presence outside of YouTube, I don't know what it is. Because YouTube is a platform where you have to play by their rules, right? We don't have control over it, you know, it's a service that we get to engage for free, so if you have live streaming problems on the platform, you're just kind of stuck with it, right? Like, you know, at this point, if my only presence is on YouTube, then there's no other way for people to connect with me and kind of figure out what's going on or have a connection in any sort of meaningful way. I'm sort of at the mercy of, you know, the gods of YouTube servers, I guess. So thank you guys for sticking around and, you know, toughing it out through that. I'm sure going to have like 40 videos I'm going to have to take down because they kept starting and stopping, but this is definitely going to go on my list at the end of this 90-day live streaming experiment of, it's going to go firmly in the cons column, right? You know, live streaming is inherently a little bit more vulnerable, I would say, than a pre-produced format where you upload a video and then it's basically done and ready to go. But not sure, you know, what happened there. So, anyways, yeah, that's one of the other tips that I have, was to make sure that, you know, you to let people know where they can find you off YouTube, because also YouTube isn't going to be 100% reliable from a technical standpoint. So, something else to consider, and we got to see a live example of that. I promise you I didn't just like engineer some sort of an outage to kind of reflect that or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and put the window back over here. I don't think it has anything to do with me having the window up over on this screen, but it's possible. Neo says, now I'm scared to go. No, don't be scared to go live. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. And again, if you cultivate connections with people, right? If you get to know the people who appreciate your content, they're going to be understanding because there's it's out of your hands, right? There's only so much you can do. If it is an issue on my side, that's something I'm going to try to figure out in short order. Maybe one of the things that I can do, learning from this experience, is I can reduce the quality outgoing to see if that helps. To make sure, like, as far as I know, I've got a solid connection, but I could be wrong. We'll see. Or, potentially, hold on a second. I've got an idea. Maybe it is that I'm watching and streaming from the same machine. That wasn't an issue in weeks past, but maybe it is now. Because now I'm having trouble seeing it. So Swedish seller accidentally listed The Last of Us 2 as February 28th, 2020. Oof. Someone's gonna get in trouble for that. You could try signing in with a VPN and see if it's the US servers. It's a possibility. I could try that. I'm probably not going to try it right this second. I haven't had issues signing in to watch YouTube on my smart TV lately in Dublin, Ireland, so it's not just USA. Hope it gets back up and running soon, Josh. Me too. This is, it's not great. I mean, I guess I could look into alternate platforms. I could start doing this on Twitch or something, maybe. I mean, as much as I like to help people with their YouTube channels, if if YouTube isn't stable long term, which is a distinct possibility, web platforms rise and fall all the time, that may be the direction that I have to go. I'm going to go back to the live streaming control room and see if that helps. Let's see. Or, I mean, I could, for these talks, I suppose I could forego OBS altogether, but I would like to have some, like, on-screen effects and things like that I can't really do natively if I stream from YouTube, at least not yet. But let's see what I can do here. At first I thought you could try singing, and I was like, that's not gonna happen. Shaboinky boink. Is it down again? Or are we live? We are back? We're good? Okay. I'm gonna try to leave the actual YouTube screen that I'm watching to keep up with chat on the other monitor. It's not ideal, but, what are you gonna do? It's like audio's there every now and then you've frozen buffering. It's better now. Yeah, well, now I've got the green light, so okay. I'm going to leave this set up as is, and then I'm going to tweak some settings later to see if I can go back to streaming the way it was, but I'll probably do that on a private stream and monitor the health in a place where it's not public. So, something else to keep in mind, a reason not to be afraid of trying live streaming on YouTube is simply because you can always do a private stream, right? You can monitor that on another device. You don't even have to go out live, public, and troubleshoot in real time like I was kind of forced to do this morning. Not perfect, but, I've got options, and it is a learning experience. And why? Because I'm a real silver linings kind of guy. Sing for us, Josh? No, I'll never do that, Sushi. The only way I'd even consider it would be if we could get back to actually do that SingStar stream that I've been hounding her about for probably, 6 months? A year at this point? So yeah, back to connection. I think I only have like one or two things left that I was going to talk about, and one of them is to go to your viewers, right? I mean, sometimes, you can shoot them a DM. There's nothing saying they have to initiate that communication. If you want to connect with people, hit them up offline. A lot of the people that, hang out on YouTube or, appreciate your channel, they have YouTube channels themselves. You can go drop in on one of their live streams or comment. They usually have their own social media presences, whether that's on Facebook or Twitter or someplace else. And there's no reason that, they necessarily have to come to you, right? You can totally go to them, and I think it's a good idea to do so. Usually whenever people follow me on like Instagram or Twitter or in other places like that, usually I'm quick to at least send a quick DM and say, hey, thanks for following me. who are you? What are you all about? And try to talk to them a little bit. Now, at scale, that becomes more difficult, right? If you're watching this, you're like, I've got 120,000 subscribers, and my live streams have 300 people in them. Yeah, it's going to be harder. But one thing I will say is, like, Gary Vee has, like, millions and millions of followers, and this dude still makes a consistent effort to, like, respond to emails personally and hit people back on Twitter and DMs and things like that. So even though it gets hard and I don't have a good answer for what happens when you scale to a tremendous amount, I'm not at that place yet, so I don't have to solve that problem yet. But I still know that push come to shove, everybody likes to have a personal connection with somebody else. Even introverted people, I would say, to some degree, even though they might be less comfortable with it than people who are, you know, like, just really charismatic, crazy extroverts or something like that. It's back and strong. I'm glad to hear it. I think what I'm going to do moving forward to try to make this a little smoother is I'm going to keep the... So, basically, here's my streaming setup right now. I should probably just do a video about this at some point. But right now, I'm on a Windows machine, right? And the camera's positioned right above my monitor, and then underneath that is my tower that handles all the streaming and OBS and all that. Usually what I do, or what I have done to make it easier to communicate, is I keep a YouTube window open with a very low resolution, because, you know, I'm trying to not have too much data crunching through there, and I'll watch the stream on, you know, the same machine that I'm streaming from, which may not be best practice. That's one of those things, you know, live and learn, I guess. But to my right is the Mac that I use for editing, and right now what I've just done is I just put the chat over here, so I have to glance a little bit more this direction to see it, instead of, you know, because I want to keep my attention and my focus as close to the camera as possible whenever I'm doing these streams. But if I have to look to the right, I guess it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. It's just something that kind of annoys me. So strong like bull, excellent, shaboinky boink. Sushi says, I seen that, and they didn't change anything about the Joy-Cons on the side, so it'll eventually drift. It might eventually drift, right? Just because it's the same design doesn't mean that maybe it's not made from a stronger material. Okay, maybe I'm reaching here. Maybe they are totally going to drift, but still. News says you're so modest, and you are a big channel. I'm not a big channel. That is false. Disc says, I love to see those Link amiibo carve themselves out of their box and hop off the shelf. That's terrifying. Wasn't there a movie about that called Toys or something? But yeah, I did notice I had the poster back there, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the Link amiibos back there, because I've got, well, actually I have more than just those two, but they're not in boxes anymore, and I think they're downstairs somewhere. I think I got most of the Breath of the Wild ones at this point. Nintendo's just trying to save money with old parts. Well, if they're gonna produce a scale and drop the price by 100, I can't fault them for wanting to save some money, right? Toy Soldiers, yes, that was the one. I remember it now. Max says, I was thinking of getting the light, guess I won't, because my old one drifts like mad. Well, and that's the thing, though, like, if they have a drifting problem, I mean, they're probably going to have to repair them, but then again, if that's your only system, it's not like you can just detach the Joy-Con and send it in for repair. What do you class as a big channel? I mean, that's the thing, like, that's a hard question to answer, but I don't think of myself as a big channel. Like, I've got a few thousand subscribers, and that's cool and everything, but again, you know, a lot of my subscribers signed on for content that now does not exist. Previously, there was, like, when it was Geeks Podcast, there was, like, a pop psychology series where my buddy Kyle would dissect different fictional characters, usually from movies or comics, but it really had nothing to do with video games, and it's not on the channel anymore. I think he's going to start it back up at some point on his own channel, which is tremendous content, and you should follow Kyle if he does that. But then also, there was a bunch of stuff that was just completely random, right? Stuff that I'd done, just about movies, comic books, vlogs, things that really had no interest for people that were really into video games or YouTube creators. So I pruned out, like, for perspective, I think there's about 200 or 300 videos live on this channel right now, but I've uploaded close to 1,000. So about, what, 500 to 700 videos are never going to see the light of day again. But that's part of the process, right? You learn things as you go. I still wish Luigi's Mansion 3 had its own amiibo. Yeah, I'm surprised it doesn't, actually. That's really weird. PewDiePie is probably a big channel. Yeah, I mean, there are some channels that you can say are objectively big, and usually the way I you know, would judge my own success, again, is hilariously through connection. How many people can I help? How many people can I establish a dialogue with? That's more interesting to me than just saying X amount of dollars or X amount of subscribers or X amount of views or whatever. Like, lately I've had a huge influx of subscribers thanks to that Beat Saber video, but, you know, it makes me nervous because everyone who shows up here from Beat Saber, I don't know if they're, you know, I think I've got one other Beat Saber video in here that might serve their interests, but beyond that, unless they're also just sort of into, you know, just console, if they're really into console gaming, you know, just across a variety of topics, which is kind of what I do here, or if they are also YouTube creators or a creative of some type, or entrepreneurial, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, they might find something here that they like, but I can't bank on that, and that's what scares me about when a video blows up on this channel, which has only happened really a couple of times, with Beat Saber and then with that PlayStation Classic video, but I've already beat that horse to death. But, I don't know when I can say I'm a big channel. I don't even know if I want to be a big channel. I want to be a great channel. And to be a great channel, I don't think you have to have 100,000 or a million subscribers. I think you just have to be happy with what you do, right? Enjoy the process, like what you're doing, and hopefully, connect with some people along the way who also appreciate the stuff that you're putting out on a regular basis. And that actually ties nicely into what I think one of the last points that I had on here, and that was if you want to connect with people, be available at a regular time, right? My experiment here was to try to make sure I was available at 8 a.m. Eastern, maybe a couple minutes late sometimes, but generally 8 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, unless work gets in the way or something like that. So to that end, I think a lot of you who show up, which again, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate, I think a lot of you will show up just because it almost becomes routine at that point, right? And it becomes routine for me in just this very positive way to start the day, right? It's not just that I get to put some fun content out there, but I also get to hear from you. Another reason I love the live streaming format so much, and that's going to go firmly in the pro column whenever I get done with this little experiment to really break down all the things I liked about it, all the things I didn't like, the things that worked, the things that didn't work. So yeah, I think being available at a regular time absolutely helps you establish a connection with people because they know when and where to find you. I'm sorry, but am getting sick of it now. That's the gold ring to go for. Wait, what now? You're sick of what? Because it hurts and cripples little channels. It really does feel like we're being grinded down a little, to be honest. Wait, what now? Help me out here. Let me back up Neo and see what you're saying for context. You're sick of big channels? I wouldn't be sick of big channels. I mean, if you I aspire to be a big channel someday, and it's not because I'm like, look, behold, look at this empire of YouTube I've created. That's not the goal for me. The goal for me is I can communicate with more. The larger your channel is, the more people you can reach, and I hope through this channel and through the stuff that I put out that someday I can help inspire a lot of people who are on the fence about it, or if they're scared to start, or if they don't feel like they have the information to start, that they can do those things. Just again, legacy is more interesting to me than currency, and not because it's like, oh, I want to be revered and have a statue of me or something like that. It's just, at the end of my life, I don't want to look back and just say, like, the only thing that I did was make money, or the only thing I did was live 100% for myself, because to me, that just, I think I would have a lot of problems with that. I think I would struggle. With great power comes great responsibility. True. I've heard that once or twice from Spooderman. I'm happy to be a part of Josh's. It's not an evil empire. That's not at all what I'm trying to create here. The only thing that puts a dash of evil into it would be things like that, or Mara, whenever she shows up, she rules with an iron fist when it comes to the Discord. Which, actually, you know what, there was one more thing I put on here. I think Discord has a lot more value than I saw initially, and initially I avoided creating one. If you would like to join, there it is. But the reason that I put it off for so long was because I fundamentally didn't understand. I understood that you could chat with people on it for gaming. That was really handy and really valuable, and so much better than using the Nintendo Switch Online chat interface, obviously. But, when you create a Discord, like, it's free, and you can sort of create this community, and you can create channels to address people's needs depending on what your audience wants, whether that's memes, which is, somebody wanted a channel for that, in the YourPlayerTwo Discord server, or, a place for introductions, or a place to do collaborations. Like, there's a lot of flexibility in terms of how you structure a Discord, and it's weird because it's almost intimidating, the sheer breadth of options that you have available to you. But I think that's a good way to connect with people too, right? It sort of gives you a place offline that you have some degree of control over, right? You can't control how Twitter functions or who sees what or anything in a lot of cases, but Discord does give you a lot of control over those things. And I'm not saying control in like a negative way where you can sort of like strip people's experiences or something like that, but it does more so. I think I would say it lets you sort of custom tailor communications to what your audience wants, what people like to talk about, how they like to talk about it. Join us on the dark side. Why should Boinky Boink Slayer? What's up, man? How you doing this morning? You showed up when the stream is not being terrible. Good job, because earlier we were having some problems. I'm probably gonna have to unpublish this entire one, which sucks, but it's okay. And yeah, I think those were the biggest things that I had here. I'll run back through these points one more time about some ways that I think you can connect more deeply with your audience. One is to tell them where they can find you offline, right? Make sure that there is a pathway to communication. Live streaming is a good way to do that when it works. It gives you sort of real-time connection with people, instead of the sort of asynchronous kind of, I make something, you comment on it, maybe I'll comment on it, and at my own leisure. Another is to keep your focus on the viewer, even with the content you create. To create content that speaks to them, whatever their particular needs or wants are. Play games with people just for the fun of it, because that's awesome. And as gamers, I think that's something we should all be doing on a regular basis. You can start a Discord, which is a great way to communicate with people. And again, custom tailor that communication experience. Be available at a regular time, which is what I'm trying to do with this live stream experiment when it works at 8 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. And then finally, is that everything? Well, I did say, like, going to people themselves, right? Hitting them up on their channel, on their Discord, on their Twitter. And then finally, more of an abstract thing, but, don't be afraid of being a little bit vulnerable. I'm not saying you have to lay everything bare about yourself out there to connect with people, but you also don't have to be some weird, perfect abstraction of yourself either, where it's like you have to be perfect all the time. You don't. It's okay to have flaws. It's okay to have made mistakes. It's okay to talk about some of those things if you're comfortable with it, because those are the things that people connect with, right? Again, I always go back, it's so I always go back to DC versus Marvel, but for me, even in the early days, Marvel always had way more relatable superheroes than DC did, and I think it's that humanity that connected people to those characters in a big, big way. And I think that's something you can definitely learn from the DC versus Marvel thing, is that people with flaws, people who are transparent, people who are, willing to be a little bit more vulnerable, tend to build stronger relationships with other people. I'm doing pretty good, Slayer. I'm having coffee. The stream has stabilized, so I feel much better. I've got about 5-10 minutes to chat a little bit, so what are you doing today? What's everybody doing today? Anything exciting? I know that Rob has something exciting within the Yu-Gi-Oh realm on Friday, it sounds like. Personally, I'm excited for Friday because Dragon Quest XI is coming out for the Switch, and I cannot wait to play that on the Switch Lite. It's going to be tremendous. Yes, it is absolutely okay to be a human. I really like being human. It's pretty great. Pass a cookie, please? I have no cookies. Is somebody doling out cookies in the chat? The only record I care about breaking is the one for biggest Luigi display, which I think I've already broken, and I have a lot of fun doing this. That's awesome. Is that like a Guinness type aspiration? Is that what you're talking about, Kalen? This says, my goal is to grow but be proud and happy with what I'm doing while choosing to cover something I and a niche audience are interested in. All noble goals. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And he says, I was just ranting, like, I don't want any harm or risk to the big channels. I just want to clarify that. I think recently I just started getting a bit grinded down by it all, and it started getting to me, to be honest. If that's the case, stop looking at those larger channels. Stop comparing yourself to bigger channels. And I know that sounds easier said than done, especially, when you make content in a space where numbers are so prevalent. And in fact, some channels build entire channels purely around the feuds going on between other channels and these subscriber wars, which to me is completely ridiculous. But hey, people love drama, right? I mean, I'm not surprised that they're successful. But, keep your head down, man. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. You make content that makes sense to you and have an idea in your head of who you want to speak to and who you think is going to benefit from it, and just worry about that. Don't sweat the numbers at all. And it's weird because I think there's two extremes for that, like managing the highs and lows, right? One of the things Gary Vee says, and I mention Gary Vee a lot because I think he's incredible, and I think everybody here should watch him, especially if you have an entrepreneurial bent to what you're doing on YouTube. But one of the things he says is he never hears the cheers, right? So even though well, I would say don't get dragged down by your perceived failures or what other people think, or somebody else who's trying to like get in your head and tell you that what you're doing isn't valuable. Don't hear the trolls or anything like that, but you also don't want to hear the cheers, right? If the only thing you ever hear is people telling you how great you are, how wonderful the content you're creating is, then you can start to get an ego, and if you get an ego, you start to get lazy and think you can rest on your laurels and think that you're so amazing, whatever you do just speaks for itself, and that's also not a good position to be in. If you succumb to trolls, you get stagnant, you get down on yourself, you stop making things entirely, and then on the flip side, if you're praised too much, or if you pay too much attention to when people, give you a compliment or whatever, then you can start to get a big head, right? And if you do that, then you can also sort of sabotage yourself, where you think, well, I'm just rad enough, I can make videos whenever I want about whatever I want, people are going to love it. And there is, sadly, some merit, I think, at a certain critical mass level, but it's not, I don't think it's a good thought process to have, and I certainly don't think it's a good thought process to have if you're somebody who's small, or if you're struggling, or if you're trying to figure out how to get to that next level. I think both of those extremes can definitely get in the way of progress. Where am I at here? This is also why I prefer Luigi over Mario. He's a more relatable character. How is he more relatable to you, Caitlin? I'm curious. Hanging out with my family. I'm off I'm off work today. That's awesome, man. I think I'm gonna get some comp time potentially on Friday. If so, I'm about to do another early Zelda stream if I can get away with it. We're gonna see if I can talk to my boss because I ended up working 12 hours on Saturday, which really can put a serious dent in your weekend. So I'm gonna see if I can get some time off either Friday or Monday. If he lets me have it, great. I'll be streaming more Link's Awakening, which will be super fun. I cannot think of a better way to chill out on a whole free day. I have no cookies for you, Discard. It's cause my... Wait. It's cause my workplace, YouTube, that's all around us nowadays. What, you mean like you're constantly exposed to it? Remove YouTube from your phone. Only check it on your desktop, on your terms. Like, I'm fine if there's no motivation lost for my channel, but at the moment, it's in my head right now, and you're right, I gotta keep that ego and upset in check. Yeah, because that's the thing, it's not even an apples-to-apples comparison, man. Like, if Wood Beat 'em Ups, huge YouTuber, sweet dude as far as I know, he has hundreds of thousands of subscribers, right? I don't wake up in the mornings, or I don't look at my own analytics, and then I don't think about Wood Beat 'em Ups like, ugh, how come he gets all these amazing subscribers? No, like, the dude put in the work, and he and I don't even do the same type of content anyways, and what you're going to find in a lot of cases is the same people that you compare yourself against to, and you're like, how come I'm not where that girl is, or how come I'm not where that dude is? You're not even making the same content in a lot of cases, or if you are, you're not speaking to the same audience, or the thing that makes them special is not the thing that makes you special, but instead of acknowledging the thing that you're great at, whether that's delivery, post-production, raw content value, your ability to connect with and empathize with other people, you start to ignore all the best parts of yourself because you're so focused on what somebody else is doing. You know, that's why I advocate for people keeping their head down, which again is hard to do in such a visual space where we're in constant connection with other creators, but at some point, like, I don't know, I think you have to cultivate that sort of discipline to say, like, yes, there are people out there who are killing it right now, but them killing it doesn't mean that I'm a failure. It doesn't mean what I'm doing is insignificant or that I'm not making moves myself, right? It's just adding context to everything. At some level, it's impossible not to sometimes. Everybody does. But you can also recontextualize it so it's not like some damning indictment of the work you're not doing, and rather it's just something you acknowledge for what it is, right? And then you use that as motivation for you to just work harder, maybe. Finally got it going again. Yeah, it took a little bit, Rob. We got it back up. Ooh. Oh my god, my dad has actually provided a cookie for discard. Look at that. Did somebody say Zelda? Yes, I'm going to try to do some more Link's Awakening in the next few days if I'm able, because I would like to continue that journey. It's so fun. Chris Levi, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. How you doing this morning, dude? Luigi is a relatable character because he wants to help his brother, but he's also really anxious when it's up to him to be the hero. That may be some of the most profound insight I've had into Luigi's character in a while. I never even really thought about that. I had seen Luigi be scared within the context of the Luigi's Mansion games, but it never occurred to me that he is himself simply more anxious, and that's probably been demonstrated in his behavior in other games that I haven't caught because I wasn't paying attention. Good find, Caitlin. I dig it. I find more relatable than just being the hero who saves the princess over and over and over again. Probably kind of like a Superman versus Spider-Man divide. At this point, I'm owed a cookie from YourPlayerTwo, and my dad gave you a cookie discard. He's right, that he gave you chocolate chip cookie, bunny. Nothing against Mario. I respect him as the mascot for Nintendo and as an important part of their history. I just think Luigi is a better character. I'm starting to think Luigi's a better character. You make a very compelling argument, Caitlin. Josh called us special. Yes, you are all of you special. Very much so. Very special to me, in particular. I made no such promise of cookies. Discard contemplates. Neo says, dark side lies a lot. It's not the dark side. That's not what this is. I don't like that his first name is the same as his last name. Mario. I know, but we all secretly love the Super Mario Brothers movie. I think we can all agree. Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo's performances were legendary. And that's to say nothing to Dennis Hopper. I'm good. Glad to hear it, man. Hamfist, thank you. Shipmoink, wait, at least it's not Luigi. I mean, imagine Mario Luigi and Luigi. Fair enough. Could have been worse. Luigi does have a weird jump. I actually prefer his floaty jumps in... What is it? It would have been, New Super Mario Brothers, and also... Wasn't Mario Brothers 2? He had a bit of a floaty jump where you have more mid-air control. I know Peach could just, like, levitate for a while with her jumps in Mario Brothers 2. Next time we want to hear from Discard is Nom Nom. I'm sure he will. Ken says, Luigi has this personality in Mario and Luigi games, the Paper Mario games, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and many other. And I've played almost all of those games except for one Paper Mario game, I think. And it never occurred to me. But, well played, Caitlin. Wait, a Super Mario Brothers movie? Am I missing something? Uh, you are missing something, but to be fair, it probably came out before you were born. I want to say 1990. It would have been 1991 or 1992, I think, because Yoshi was in it. There's a Mario Brothers movie. It's exceptionally bad, but it's also so exceptionally bad that that makes it exceptionally good and absolutely worth a watch. It's good in the way The Room is good, in that it's on a technical level a bit of a train wreck of a movie, but it's also so good. Like it's just one of those movies, and you should check it out. No, you're not. The movie was so bad. Right? See, Shaboinky Boink gets it. He knows. Excuse me. Disc, you are completely ridiculous, and I love it. Super Mario Bros. 2 started Luigi's Flutter Jump, and Yoshi Jump might have been influenced by Luigi. I would not doubt that, actually. It would make sense to me that the Flutter Jump would have been influenced by Luigi originally, and to see it... But let's be honest. Well, Yoshi didn't have the Flutter Jump in his original incarnation. That didn't show up till Super Mario... Oh, help me out. Yoshi's Island? Was that the first appearance of that? I thought it was. But let's be honest, Yoshi's there as a literal stepping stone for me to get to the end without, bringing any potential harm to myself. Mikkel, what's up, man? How you doing today? I think Saturday would be good again for us to get back together to do, if you'll still have me over on your channel for the podcast. I said as I put him on the spot in front of everybody. Exactly the thing that I spoke against not 3 days ago. Well played, youngin. Luigi has the high jump in Super Mario Bros. 2, both lost levels in Doki Doki, Super Mario World on the GBA, Super Mario 64 DS, which has a great backflip and spin jump. I completely forgot about Super Mario 64 on the DS. I love that, though. I was so happy to dive back into it after years of being absent. Among other things, Mario Brothers movies has a few shots with pole jumpers in the background. I did not realize. Oh, dancers! Oh no, I thought you were talking about a particular enemy type. I was like, that's weird. I don't remember this. Like I started thinking like the Shy Guys on stilts. I was like, maybe that's what he means, but nope. Didn't know you were gonna go that direction, Sam. But good to know. On a side note, I guess I'll be renting. Wait, renting? Who rents it? I'll be acquiring the Super Mario Brothers movie this weekend. I know he has this in Super Luigi U as well, but sadly lacks in other new Super Mario Bros. Games and Super Mario Maker 2. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Movie came out in 1993, courtesy of Google. Thank you, Shaboinky Boink, for the quick research. Because it's next Saturday, if you're free this weekend, I'm on Big Island hosting a panel at HawaiiCon. Right on, man. That's awesome. Very exciting. I think next Saturday should work for me. I may be on call. I'll find out for sure, though, and let you know. I'll hit you up on Twitter. Lua, how are you? Thank you for stopping by the stream as well. Josh, you monster, Yoshi is not your stepping stone. He absolutely is. I murder him at every conceivable opportunity because he's there for me to excel, and he knew that going into this relationship. Austin, what's up, dude? How you doing this morning? Poor Yoshi. Well, I was born in 1990. Yeah, of course you missed it then. You were a baby when it came out. Yoshi is a stepping stone. Why be? I'm gonna turn that into a t-shirt. He does have it in Super Mario Run. Alright, guys. Well, I would love to stay and talk endlessly about Yoshi and other things that you're up to. But unfortunately, I have to take off right now because I gotta get ready for the day job. But it was fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out through the stream problems we have this morning. I'm gonna see if I can make some technical changes on my end to see if that's gonna help at all, or maybe YouTube really is just doing some maintenance right now that's affecting a lot of this. I'm not sure, but I will try to make sure you have a smoother stream experience tomorrow morning. So. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to take off, go get ready for work. But again, appreciate you guys just hanging out and then also suffering through the horrible stream problems we experienced for a solid 5 to 8 minutes. So enjoy the rest of your day, and maybe later tonight I'll be streaming a video game. I'm not sure. Might just be chilling out. We'll see. But yeah, take care, and I will see you on the next video.